Sir, I fully agree with the Honorable Deputy Minister when he says that it should be our endeavor to see that there is much progress in the matter of electricity and that consumers get electricity at a cheaper rate. Sir, in our country, with the question of national reconstruction before us and considering the position of our coal reserves, it is very necessary to develop the other resources of power. I remember, sir, that in our student days we used to read about white coal, namely power generated from electricity. In India, there is an abundant scope for developing that white coal, and that is developed, it can bring about a very extensive transformation in the whole structure of the industry, because if there is supply of cheap electricity, then cottage industries and a number of other industries can easily be developed, and the places which are still undeveloped industrial or where there are large potentialities of industrial development, but there are certain other difficulties due to lack of coal, etc., can easily be developed. So, sir, from the industrial development point of view and from the point of view of developing cottage and other industries, as also from the point of view of the employment potential which is connected with these industries, it is very necessary that progress should be made in the development of electricity. This will help the consumer also, because electricity is now being used for more and more purposes, including the domestic purpose, and with electricity we are able to reduce the drudgery of our day-to-day life. But sir, there are certain other factors which should also be taken into consideration when we are considering the question of developing these things. Sir, the Honorable Minister has referred to the 2 minutes of dissent submitting to the report of the select committee, and he has rightly said that the minutes of dissent represent two extremes, but in order to avoid these extremes and an effort to adopt a middle course, actually what has happened is that middle course goes round and other extreme, that is to say, it goes to help the vested interests, and thereby it comes in the way of development of electricity department. Sir, take for instance the question of electricity development when the different stations under the DVC scheme were all intended to produce electricity. I have heard that the rate of electricity supplied is very high. The cost of production is much less, that the rate charged from the consumer is very high. And what are the reasons behind all that? One of the reasons, I think, is that in that locality many of the industries are owned by the Anglo-Indian communities, and they have their own resources for generating electricity. So in that whole industrial area there is no scope for utilizing electricity from that station. Therefore, other outlets for the utilization of power generated from the DVC stations are to be sought. It is no doubt good that there is a proposal to run electricity trains over the suburban line of Kolkata. That is no doubt quite good, but the question is that these private interests who have got a monopoly, they